will cover in this section. Firstly, we will check out what are default getter and setter and how to create our custom ones as well. How to use inheritance in Dart along with the demo video. Proceeding, we will check out how to override the methods during inheritance in Dart. And then we are going to use constructors during inheritance and explore various aspects of using them. Proceeding, we will check out how to use abstract classes and methods in Dart and what are they. Moving next, we will see how to use interface in Dart along with valid examples. And in the end of this section, we will see what are static methods and variables in Dart and how to use them. And we are going to check out all of these topics along with demo videos as well. So let us start this section with our video 1 of getter and setters. So in this video, we will check out what are the default getter and setter, how to create the custom getter and setter in Dart, and along with all of these, we will also explore how to define the private instance variable within a class of Dart. So head back to your editor and these are the video objectives. So let us now proceed with our first objective. For that, let us create a class of student with the instance variable of name. Let us create a student object. And now let us set the name of the student along with let us print it out. Launch the application. And there we go, we are getting Peter in the output console. Now you must be thinking, where is the concept of default getter and setter? So let me tell you one thing. In Dart, whenever we define any instance variable, suppose this is our instance variable, then this variable will actually act as the default getter and setter for this instance variable. Such that by using student.name, we are actually using the setter here. And then by using student.name again here, we are actually using the getter to get the value stored in the variable of name. So here, let me write some comment statement. We are calling the default setter to set the value. Fine. And here we are actually calling the default getter to get the value. And now please don't get confused with this print statement. The getter is just this part, student.name. We are actually calling the getter here. We are just using the print statement to print out the value stored in our variable. Perfect. Now what if we want to define our custom getter and setter and actually customize our set value and also the get value? For that, let us define another field variable such as int percentage. Now when we define any instance variable, now again this variable has its own getter and setter similar to that of name. Now what if I want to get the percentage of the marks secured by the student? So for that we have to perform some mathematical calculation. That is, calculate the percentage based on the marks secured by the student. So here comes custom getter and setter into picture. So how to define the custom getter and setter? Now in order to set the percentage, we have to define our custom setter. So for that, let us treat it as a function void. Let us use the keyword of set to define the setter and then use percentage. And each of the setter takes at least one parameter. So here I will use int marks secured by the student and let us treat it as a function. And now let us calculate the marks secured by the student by using this formula marks secured divided by total marks. Let us assume the total marks is 500. Enclose it in the bracket and then multiply it by 100 to get the percentage. And here let us store it within some variable. Let us call it int percent equal to like this. And here I have some problem. So let us use our integer division operator like this. That is, divide these two numbers and return the integer by using this operator. Perfect. So this is our custom setter, right? And now here we have some warning or error. Let me talk about it shortly. Before that, let us define our custom getter. So for that, let us use the return type as instead of void, let us use here as integer because we want some value. And to define the custom getter, we need to use the keyword of get and then use the same name that we have defined here, percentage. And now in case of getter, we should never use the parentheses like we have in function. Let us remove it and then use the curly bracket open and close, and let us now return this value of percentage. Now this percent is currently in a local variable. So here let us define our int percent outside the scope, and here let us remove it, and now let us return the percent that we just calculated using this formula here based on the marks secured. And now this percent and this name are actually the instance variable with default getter and setter. Here as well, let us write the comment statement. And now that we have actually declared our custom getter and setter for the percentage, then we no longer need to have this instance variable with the default getter and setter, because we have actually created our own custom getter and setter for this percentage. So now we can actually remove it. Perfect. So let us write the comment statement here. Instance variable with custom setter, and here as well with custom getter. Perfect. Let us now use this percentage and also this percentage to set and get the value. So for that, here we can use student dot percentage equal to, let us pass here the marks as suppose 438. So here we are actually calling the custom setter. Now when this statement will be executed, this 438 will be passed as a parameter here and will fall here in the marks secured. Now once we get the value here, we are actually calculating the percentage out of this mark secured and storing it here within the percentage variable. As simple as that. And now let us use this getter to get the percentage calculated. So here we can use student dot percentage, and now here we can actually print it out by using this statement. Let us write the comment statement here as well. Let us now launch our application. And there we go, we are getting 0 in the output, so I guess I have done some mistake. Let's check it out. Now in case of percentage, the percentage can be in the decimal form as well. So here instead of integer, let us use the double data type, and here as well let us use double, and instead of this operator let us simply use the division operator, and also change this integer to double. And now let us pass here as double value 438.0. Perfect. Launch the application, and there we go, we are now getting 87.6 in the output console. Perfect. We are getting the percentage. So in this way we define our custom getter and setter. And now let us come to our third objective, that is private instance variable. So during the process of objective 1 and 2, you must have thought that why I have defined double percentage as a separate instance variable. Because it is actually generating another instance variable with the default getter and setter, and we should not do that if we are using it only for the local purpose. So for that, in Dart we don't have anything like modifier of private or public or protected. So you cannot make this variable private to this class, but you can actually use the underscore symbol and make this variable private to its own library within which it exists, but you cannot still make it private to its own class. So here I can call it as private instance variable to its own library. And here as well, let us change it to underscore percent, and here as well underscore percent. Perfect. Now in the end of this video, let us optimize these two functions of getter and setter, such that by using the shorthand syntax that we studied in the previous videos, while we covered the topic of functions in Dart. So here after percentage, let us use the shorthand fat arrow symbol, and here let us cut this comment and paste it on the top. And now let us remove this part, that is curly bracket open and close, and also remove this return statement. Perfect. Remove this curly bracket close, and now we are good to go. Now similarly you can modify this setter as well by using the shorthand syntax by using the fat arrow. So here as well, remove this curly bracket and cut this comment and paste it on the top, and also remove another curly bracket and use the fat arrow. Perfect. So in this way we have actually optimized our code, and our code is now looking much more cleaner. And if you are watching this video for the first time, then what is a shorthand syntax of using the fat arrow? I have created a separate video on that. So please check the video link in the description. So that's all for this video.